Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. For those looking for a way to secure your cryptocurrency, Ledger currently has a number of great deals on their brand new touchscreen devices, the Ledger Flex as well as the Ledger Stacks, as well as a brand new range of colors for their Ledger Nano X as well as their Ledger Nano S Plus, which is always very difficult for me to say. They also have a brand new deal on their Ledger Recover, just in case you need it as well. They also have brand new Ledger gift cards as well for that special person in your life who you want to invest in. They're being really stubborn. Now you can give them some crypto as well. While I do not work for Ledger, I am an affiliate. And I have an affiliate link in the description below for those of you looking to keep your cryptocurrency safe. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. A very big, very gigantic side note. Apologies if at all I sound a little bit out of it. I haven't been sleeping well. There's like so much going on. I know we're talking about it a lot in crypto, but just like life in general. I know I'm not the only one because I've been asking all of my friends and everyone's like, yeah, I'm about a 13, 14 out of 10 right now. Everything seems to be very, very intense, especially pertaining to finance and economics and within the cryptocurrency space. We have been on and it's very nice. This is not a complaint. I promise you. We've been on a pretty good roll foreverly, recently, a long timely, regarding the actual movements of the cryptocurrency space, the optimism from analysts, where people think prices are going. And I mean, even if we did not hear from all these analysts, just the news in general that we've been getting about the crypto reserve, the different states, the companies, the institutions. If you've missed any of the last 13, 14 videos, every single day we've had this company bought, this bank is getting into it, this company did so-and-so, these banks bought some Bitcoin, you get the general idea. This one of news, of course, was insanely popular. And I will preface it by saying it's quite interesting to see people coming out of the woodworks with price predictions and where things are going to go. And it is, I will admit, a little weird to see when they're actually correct. Because this is, for reference, when I first got into crypto, the end of 2016, when I started this channel, I know I keep saying it, but it is relevant. There were a lot of people who were kind of like predicting where things were going to go in the space. And for some reason, there's been 2 years that nearly everyone has honed in on. It was 2025 and 2032. I don't know why 2029 didn't get any, honing on it, but for some reason 2025 was always slated as the time period, the year, where Bitcoin was going to $500,000 per coin, where institutional interest was going to skyrocket, where blah, 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 blah. And then 2032, for those of you who don't know, is meant to be the anywhere from 1 to a $10 million Bitcoin price prediction. So this is actually on Forbes. And this, once again, was spread everywhere. Everyone thought this was the craziest, most fantabulous news that we've ever had in the entire world. And I'm going to show you exactly why. So the news basically revolves around the fact that the United States of America has and will continue to have a Bitcoin cryptocurrency reserve. There's going to be a lot of buying in the market from the United States, and the implications of this, as I've been saying before, for those of you who haven't been paying attention, is that this is going to be absolutely massive, not only for crypto, but for the rest of the world. We know that other countries in general have been doing their best to front run the United States and buy as much Bitcoin as possible. comma, this person thinks that this is really like we have kind of entered a brand new space. And more or less paraphrasing here, once again, retail is kind of like not really listening to what's happening. In November, someone on Twitter by the name of Josh Mandel, who claims to be a retired Wall Street trader that previously worked at Salomon Brothers, predicted in a cryptic post that Bitcoin would soar to 444,000 US dollars when $84,000 becomes the base. Mentioning in November, this man said on the 14th of March in his original post, and then later confirming that the 4th of March is when he expected Bitcoin's price to close, that is to say at the end of the day, at $84,000. If any of that sounds crazy to you, it's because that's exactly what happened. Now you understand why this became such popular news. He said, "I hope that I have established a little credibility with a few of you so that this will help," he posted on Twitter. "This time is different. The fourth turning is upon us." That's very intense, whoever this man is actually talking this way. If you missed, as I stated before, the last 2 weeks of videos, we kind of shifted very quick, even on days where prices were lightly going down. We had a number of analysts continuing to, they really jumped out of nowhere, and everyone kept on saying, for those, the first one, if you missed it, said the 25th of March. I forgot the name of the analyst, but he said the 25th of March is when the recontinuation of the bull run was going to begin. And then every other analyst stated, paraphrasing, Q2 is when it begins. Q2 is when it happens. Q2 is when we hit these prices. Once again, last 2 weeks of videos. And it all revolved around April, May, and June. Basically being the months, according to the analysts, where we would see the next leg up of the actual market. He said this time is different. The fourth turning is upon us. Mandel has built a following among traders on Twitter, reportedly turning $2.1 million in Bitcoin and MicroStrategy into $23 million in just 1 year. Now, here's the weird part. In the poem, or rather he wrote a poem, not joking, on Twitter, and it goes, "A trio of fours times a grand, that's the top, the Bitcoin fades." I forgot to mention at the beginning of this video that this might get a little intense. His poem, apparently, people have put it together, and I think he also kind of confirmed. He's saying that Bitcoin is going to go to $444,000 this cycle, and then Bitcoin is basically going to drop because that is the top. Meaning that Bitcoin will hit 444,000 during this cycle, referring to Bitcoin's previous peaks and bottoms that it has seen since 2010. He said if Bitcoin were to close at $84,000 on the 14th of March, it will run the table. Mandel posted, adding he doesn't want to show his working for how he came up to the Bitcoin price prediction that could see Bitcoin's price by or over $100,000 by the end of March. We get a lot of popular price predictions within this space. This one, however, really took the case. I think there's some kind of an affinity for and or just a liking of. If anyone has ever worked for Goldman Sachs or some kind of a larger institutional money-making company, if they mention anything about crypto, they become quite popular. The popularity here lies in the fact that in November and December, we were all pretty sure that by January, we'd be at $120,000 Bitcoin. That was all we kept on hearing from all these analysts. This guy said in November, on the 14th of March, we would hit 84,000. And then from there, we're looking at a $444,000 Bitcoin, which I will say is basically mathematically right in the middle of where we heard that Bitcoin is going to go from the majority of the analysts over the last year. For those of you who missed it, they all said 300 to 400,000. We had a light sprinkling of $500,000. And we had, I think, 2 or 3 people. It was Samson Mao, the guy from Blockstream, and other person who each said $1 million per Bitcoin. So, as it stands right now, and time continues to move forward, as it were, let's see if this actually ends up taking place. This was very popular, and I say it because it sounds even remotely believable. We are still very low in price comparative to where we should be, and also the price predictions for a lot of altcoins relative to the idea that a lot of these are going to have ETFs in the next couple of question mark weeks that we've been hearing about. There's a lot of energy flowing right now, at least on social media, around XRP, Cardano, Litecoin. I'm not seeing as much Solana hype as I was before. A lot of people have kind of shunned it because of all the meme coin things that have been going on, but it's still popping up every now and again on social media. So, yeah, let's see what ends up happening. Once again, every analyst, April, May, and June. Let's see what happens. That's some guy predicted back in November that 84,000 was going to happen on the 14th of March, and he was correct, and therefore everyone is talking about Bitcoin going to $444,000 in the next couple of months or during this cycle. And yeah, let's move on. Also, in very popular news that we kind of keep getting over and over the course of the last couple of months, Uphold. Uphold has officially reactivated its staking services for users in the United States, as reported by Cointelegraph apparently at the beginning of the month. This move follows an evolving regulatory landscape that is increasingly accommodating towards cryptocurrency activities. Following the successful reintroduction of staking in the UK earlier this year, Uphold aims to enhance user engagement. Awesome, fantastic. Yeah, staking is kind of the word of the season, if you will. We have every United States Ethereum ETF is trying to get the wording added to their applications that will allow them to be able to stake the ether that they're currently accumulating. There's also, what was the other thing? Oh gosh, I don't remember. The point is, a lot of other companies, and I would assume it's because of the brand new SEC that we have, they're all allowing staking, and they're allowing this to happen with staking. You can stake this and you can so-and-so, which was deemed one of the main reasons, so they say, Coinbase a couple of years ago as to what institutions wanted and why a lot of them weren't actively in the space. Apparently, they want securitized versions of things for tax implications, and I assume they pay lower taxes if they have a securitized version of something. And staking is also part of this as well. Buying something, holding on to it, and making passive income has been the thing that every investor loves. So this is also, and I say it this way, this has been one of the speculative things that a lot of people have believed would also send Ethereum a lot higher in price as well, as far as like for some kind of demand in some sort of way. If the ETFs can start staking, and cryptocurrency platforms can start staking. I think we also had rumors or news recently, something about Changpeng Zhao not trying to get pardoned per se, which I think he also wants. But there's also this thing where I think he's also trying to get proper regulatory clarity in the United States for Binance US and Binance in general, so that they can also reintroduce staking for their clients. It was also Robinhood. I think Robinhood was maybe 2 weeks ago, somewhere around there, where we heard that Robinhood, I believe, has also reactivated staking on their platform as well within the United States. So, yeah, it's, my skepticism is slowly beginning to fade. It looks like the US SEC might not be complete garbage anymore, because this should have never been an issue. The main problem should have been the entire time is if these platforms actually have the coins that they say. That's what should have been regulated. If they actually have the coins, you should also be able to verify how many coins they have as a platform, how much they're currently staking on any given day, and that the rewards that you are getting as a customer are correct. Those are the only things that should have actively been regulated, not them staking in general or staking a security. And it's like, good job, Gary Gensler, for destroying everything. That's the Uphold news. It's nice to hear things. And it's not even getting back to normal. I don't even know what normal is in this market, because everything's been so broken for the last decade. Things are looking betterer than they did before. Okie dokie. Let's move on. Also, continuously in big news that I know people are not paying attention to, a company or whatever called Starknet has announced their plan to become the first layer 2 solution to unify Bitcoin and Ethereum, aiming to enhance Bitcoin's functionality and scalability while preserving its core principles of decentralization and trustlessness. Years ago, the name of the game was, what was it? Atomic swaps. That's what we used to call it years ago. The idea was, back in good old 2017, that all chains at some point would kind of merge together. That was one of the ideas. And you'd be able to use them interoperably, interchangeably, at any given point that you wanted. One of the things that someone said was, let's say you go into a store and you want to buy a hat. And they're like, hey, it is half of a Litecoin. And you're like, man, I only have Bitcoin. On your phone, on your wallet, you'd be able to swap directly from the Bitcoin that you have and kind of morph it into Litecoin, or vice versa, to be able to make your payment, like that kind of thing. What we have now is the idea of layered solutions on top of the main chains, basically being kind of connected. We heard about this. I mean, this is through the ages. People have been trying to connect in some way with Bitcoin. It's been, in theory, a practice that people want to practice between the XRP blockchain and also with Bitcoin. The idea being that you'd be able to use the value of your Bitcoin on the XRP ledger to have quicker and faster instantaneous transactions. The idea we heard as well, if you missed it, what's his face? Charles Hoskinson has been discussing, apparently in talks with Ripple, and he's trying to get like Cardano bridged to the XRP blockchain as well for DeFi purposes, which is also going to become a thing, as we've been talking about. Every other chain is trying to latch on to Bitcoin in some sort of way. To bring the main focus is DeFi, decentralized finance, and or basically a way, as we've been going over. When I said before, I know that people aren't paying attention because a lot of people can't conceptualize what this actually means for Bitcoin, as far as Bitcoin winning and literally being able to stake it. You'll be able to basically use the value of it. So you can already do this through a number of protocols. This isn't brand new, but people are trying to like really make it a thing. Because what you can currently do now is basically use wrapped Bitcoin. Like imagine like wrapping your Bitcoin in like aluminum foil and throwing it at Ethereum's face. I don't know. You're basically able to use the value of it on Ethereum to be able to do DeFi things, but people want it on chain and or for the chains to basically, have like a really short bridge between them so you can kind of do all of these activities. The main core thing of this being, and I would air quote, unlocking the value of Bitcoin on other chains. So not only do you always have access to your Bitcoin, but should you choose not to spend it over the course of the next 5 to 10 years, you can lock it in another chain and basically get DeFi rewards for it. So locking up your Bitcoin into a protocol to secure the protocol or whatever the case might be. And every single day basically making passive income from that DeFi thing. That's like exactly where Bitcoin is heading. I give it between 3 to 5 years to really take off. But I'm kind of assuming the speed at which we keep getting this news is that by the end of this year, something big will probably have popped up. But I think the runaway will be when a crypto exchange is offering like, hey, stake your Bitcoin here for an automatic 4.7% return. That's when it goes. The initiative includes the integration of the Bitcoin wallet Xverse with Starknet, allowing users to utilize Bitcoin assets on the platform for the first time. Additionally, the Starknet Foundation is launching what they call BTC-Fi Season. Okay. A program designed to provide Bitcoin users with various opportunities to engage in decentralized finance activities. With the focus on security and user experience, Starknet aims to serve 1 billion users and facilitate a broader adoption of Web3, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we heard that many other times before. Yeah, one of them is going to end up doing it. We heard recently, there are 3 different proposals, I believe. 2 of them are coming from the Ethereum ecosystem, and the third one is actually from, whatchamajaggers. That one's coming from, apparently people are trying to do this like on-chain for Bitcoin. There's a proposal that without needing all these layer 2s and layer 3s and these bridges and, connecting, that within Bitcoin itself, you'll be able to like stake your Bitcoin and like deal in DeFi, which I think will also eventually come, but Bitcoin is rather slow. So other chains will definitely probably have to pick up some sort of slack. But yeah, we're moving closer in that direction. I really, side note, I wonder, sorry. Anyway, the point is, I told you I was tired in the beginning. Don't judge me. The main point of what I'm trying to say is like, I'm trying to figure out what finance is going to look like in the future, just because it's changing so quickly. A lot of people didn't understand years ago. If Bitcoin's at $100, a lot of people shunned Bitcoin because it was too slow, the price wasn't high enough for them to care, yada, yada, yada. But as Bitcoin's price goes higher, there's still a lot of people who don't care and aren't really looking towards the future. It's kind of like the idea, like what I was saying before, if you had bought stocks in the 1990s, and dare I even say the year 2002 or 2010, you would have made an enormous amount of money, especially if you had been buying like dividend stocks. The amount of money that the growth of those stocks and the money that you'd be making passively would be insane. And then you have this situation now where Bitcoin's taking over the entire world. Governments and countries are buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin at some point is predicted to reach several $1 million a coin. And it's like, well, yeah, if you're going to be able to stake your Bitcoin and make passive income forever, it makes me wonder why more people in crypto aren't looking into it. If you can already stake your Ether or stake your Cardano, and we're predicting there are predictions for an eventual $100,000 Ether, the only people who are going to benefit from this are the people who are paying attention and actually buying these assets. That's the point I was trying to make, but I was trying to say it in like a different way, but it's more like all these things are going to happen, but it's only when things are out of reach for normal people do they then pay attention. So yeah, we're going to get some kind of Bitcoin DeFi staking. It's not too far off. And yeah, let's move on. I'm not sure if we went over this or what the deal actually is, but there's a lot of speculation and discussions. For those of you who don't know, it's now over a dozen. Over more than a literal dozen applications that we currently have right now for XRP ETFs within the United States. It says Franklin Templeton also just put it in application as well, but for some reason, everyone is mainly focusing on BlackRock. A lot of the we must have lightly gone over this recently at some point because it sounds familiar as I'm saying it. But the energy being given specifically to BlackRock applying for an XRP ETF is like completely out of control. So despite hearing that Ripple's going public, despite hearing that there's always news of them printing and creating more stable coins, what's the other things? Them working with dozens of banks and being part of the crypto reserve. When I tell you, people literally think that XRP is going to $100. If we hear from Larry Fink that they're submitting an application for an XRP ETF, like it's really, 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 really intense. This was also the other point. The idea is that if the lawsuit is over between Ripple and the SEC, and I mean over as far as Ripple apparently is looking for, so saith an article, is looking for clarification from the SEC that A, this will never happen again, B, banks can deal with and buy XRP, and something about securities is not if the coin is a security, but it had to do with like institutions being able to legally deal in securitized versions of XRP or anything of the like. Apparently that's like the fully resolved. News we've been getting is that they're apparently working on it. A lot of closed door meetings, so saith the internet. That's when BlackRock will officially file for one. This is popular news like every day. Like really. If you understand how many people like and love Ripple and XRP, you'll get it. You'll understand my words. I always see skepticism and I'm like, you people have no idea what you're talking about because you really don't get. This is like next to Bitcoin, it's XRP, like as far as popularity. It really, Cardano was like closely in third place a couple of years ago, but that's lightly faded. After XRP, I don't even know what there could be that's even like remotely close. It's not Litecoin. Solana's not getting as much attention as it was before. Ethereum is the most used chain, but as far as like people who like are obsessed with Ethereum, it comes nowhere near close to what XRP has behind it. But yeah, we also had a lot of news a couple days ago, the expectations of XRP once again flippening, if you will, Ether. And I read an article where this guy was like, it's never going to happen. It's just not a thing. And I was like, this is how I know you're brand new to the market because it's happened 3 times before. XRP became the number 2 coin. So yeah, this is constantly popular news. I just want resolution for this. I just want someone to say, hey, it's happening. Look, BlackRock is filing for an XRP ETF. We know that it's coming. It's just a matter of like, please, for the love of God, just announce it so that we can stop talking about all these like weird things over and over and over. I think that's going to do it for this video. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do sincerely hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.